It's Mary, Coach Mary. First of all, I want to welcome you to your 21-day fix challenge. And I want to take a minute to try to take some of the guesswork out of the whole food portion container concept and what you're supposed to do. So it seems very confusing, but I promise you, especially once you've read through the book, and it's really not that long, so take a minute to read through your guide. It is super, super simple. So let me just talk to you about a few things. So the very first thing you're going to do, if you look on page 4, right there, is you're going to do the calculation so that you know how many calories the program is recommending that you consume each day. So you take your current weight and you multiply it by 11, and that is going to give you this number right here. And they call that number your caloric baseline. So as an example, and this is just an example, for me, I took my weight, which is 133 times 11, and my caloric baseline is 1463. So if you can see down here at the bottom, that's the example there for me. Then you take that number, the 1463, you put it here in this spot. So for me, it was, 1463. Then you take the 1463 and you add 400, which again is the 400, that number is right here in the book. It tells you to do that. So you take 1463 and you add 400, and for me on my example, it takes me to 1863. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to do that math. Hopefully you can do that without a calculator. Then you take that number, 1863, and you minus 750. And again, the number 750 is not made up. It's right here in the book, and it tells you to subtract 750. And that gives you 1113 for me, my example, my numbers. So 1113, and so what they tell you to do is if it's under 1200 is to round up. So for me, my caloric intake would be the chart where it says between 1200 and 1499. That is on page 19. So if you flip to page 19, you see this chart right here. Can't see it, sort of. And it has 1200 to 1499, 1500 to 1799, 1800 to 2099, 2100 to 2300. And under each, wherever you land, those are the numbers of these containers that you can fill up each day. So, because I am in the 1200 to 1499 category, you can see here, there's a light shining on it, I'll try to stand in front of the light, that I am permitted to fill up this green container 3 times each day. And I can eat the food that I can put in this green container. I can fill 3 of these up a day, okay? And then I can have 2 of the purple. So I can fill this purple container up twice a day and eat whatever goes into the purple container twice a day. I can have 4 reds, fill this up 4 times per day, 2 yellows, 1 blue, 1 orange, and then 2 tablespoons. Now you ask yourself, how do I know what I'm allowed to put in these containers? Well, that's a very good question. I'm glad you asked. Page 25 through 37 tells you what you are allowed to put in each of the containers. So for example, the very first page, page 25, is green. Okay? All these food items that are listed here, you are allowed to fill your green container with. Okay, so remember, I'm allowed to fill this 3 times a day. So I can put kale, collard greens, spinach, Brussels sprouts. There's a whole list here of things I'm allowed to put in my green container. Okay, and the same holds true with all the other containers. So the purple container gives you a list. The red container gives you a list of everything I can put in the red container, etc., etc. Now what you're going to do is you're going to, because here's the deal. The kit only comes with so many of each container. It has 1 green, 1 purple, 1 red, 1 yellow, 1 blue, and 2 oranges. This is what you get in your kit. Well, if I'm allowed to have 3 greens, I only physically have 1 to fill up. So you're going to have to put that, hold on. when you're food prepping and you put your food, you fill this up one time, let's say you're going to make a salad, you're going to fill it all up till you can smush the lid on. That's the rule. As long as you can get the lid on it, you can have everything in there. And then you're going to dump it into another container, right? And then let's say because you're going to fill it up 3 times, you're going to fill it up with something else, and you're going to have another container that you can put it in. So you don't necessarily have to transport in these containers, because obviously if I can fill this up 3 times and I only physically own one of them, I'm going to have to put it somewhere, put the food somewhere else, because I don't have 3 of them, right? So that's what you do. So hopefully this makes it a little bit easier. It really is not that hard. You do the calculation. That's the first thing you're going to do, so you know how many calories you can consume each day. That's incredibly important. And then you're going to go to page 19 so that you know, based on the caloric category, how many times you can fill each of these containers up for each day. And again, as long as you can shove the lid on it, you can fill it up as far as you can. And then, of course, page 25 to 37 is going to give you lists of things that you are permitted to put into each of those colored containers. And then, of course, the teaspoon, I think I'll put tablespoon, it's really supposed to be teaspoon. Teaspoon list is on page 36. And then the best page ever is page 37. Those are free foods. Those are foods you can have as much as you want all day long. If you get hungry, just go ahead and shove some garlic. Just a handful of garlic. That'll fill you right up. I'm just kidding. But the one thing that people ask me all the time, or they're like, oh, well, don't you find healthy food bland? Well, first of all, I don't. Once you start eating clean, you kind of really grow to like the taste of the beautiful, clean food. And it's not that you don't ever crave salt again, because believe me, call me any day at 4 o'clock and ask me if I'm not searching and hunting down salt. Ask anybody I work with. However, it does lessen the cravings. But use spices. They're free. You don't have to have a container to put a spice in, right? Just put as many spices. Now, not salt. You got to be careful with salt. And then the other thing that's a little trick that I do. Sorry, we're just conveniently right here by my refrigerator. I'm addicted to this sauce, Cholulu. Cholulu sauce, and actually that's not even my favorite. Look, it comes in all of these, so many different types of flavors. This one's my favorite, as you can see, because it's almost empty. This is the chili garlic flavored Cholulu hot sauce. These are hot sauces. But the funny thing about them being called hot sauce is they're not really that hot. I mean, they're a little bit hot, but it adds flavor. So if you've got brown rice and you find it to be incredibly bland, add some Cholulu and you will love it. You'll become addicted to Cholulu. And the reason why it's free, there's literally no calories in it, is because they are vinegar based. They're not sugar based. So when the book says hot sauces are free, you have to remember and be careful that you're not picking hot sauce that is sugar based, because there are some hot sauces that are loaded with sugar. So Cholulu is a lifesaver. Cinnamon, nutmeg, chili powder, garlic powder, onion powder, as long as they're not onion salt and garlic salt. Remember, be real careful with the salts. These are high in sodium. But anyway, I hope this just takes a little bit of the guesswork out of it. It seems complicated, but it's really not. And then, of course, the book is really cool because it's got lots of recipes in the back that give you some great ideas for your meals. So I'm so excited about you doing this challenge. Good luck. Let me know if you have any questions or if you need me to help you go through the calculation. But again, as you can see, it's pretty self-explanatory. But don't be afraid to ask questions if you don't understand. Okay? Have a great day and enjoy filling up your containers.